Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I'm just out walking. I've spent about seven and a half hours in the car today, leaving Brisbane really early, arriving back only about 15 minutes ago, and just need to stretch the legs after being on the road for that long. And it's a drive I should have done over the last 8 or 9 years, but I kept putting off, and then there comes a point where it's too late. So I actually was driving up to Maryborough in Queensland to go to a funeral of a guy that I used to work with when I lived in Western Australia. His name was Lindsay Gasman, 71 years old, just died unexpectedly in sleep only last week. And so really sad, because I'd always had in my mind, I've got to catch up with Lindsay at some point. We both lived in Broome in Western Australia, and I relocated back to Brisbane. And then maybe 6 months after that, Lindsay and his wife relocated back to Queensland, where they're originally from, about a 3.5 hour drive away from me. And I'd always had in my mind, really need to see them. And last month, Lindsay and his wife, beautiful wife, Ave, were travelling around the Kimberley, and there were lots of photos of them where we used to work, all the people we used to work with as well. And just really nice seeing that. And I guess the only redeeming thing for me is that they got to experience that trip to the Kimberley region and to see their friends and family and their favourite spots again. But as I was doing the drive, I listened to a few different podcasts, but also had time to reflect and just slapping myself on the forehead, just saying, why didn't I organise something with them sooner? There was a time when I was actually working, I think this was back in 2018, and I got home one afternoon and Chris was like, you'll never believe it, who visited today? And it was Lindsay and his wife. And I'd just missed them by about, an hour or so, and I was really upset about missing them that time. When you live in a really remote place, they were just like surrogate parents for all of us over there. And Lindsay was an extremely smart man, corporate services director. But he remembered my address, because I told him we bought a place back in Brisbane. I gave him the address. He didn't write it down. He's like, I'll remember that. And then a few years later, they just drove past and got the right house, saw Chris, and bummed I was missed out. And I was pretty sad that I missed out on seeing them, and I had not seen them since leaving WA. The reason why Lindsay was such a great bloke, he was a real Queenslander, and that's actually how we bonded. I remember being new to my role in 2011, the new marketing person, and you get introduced to people, and people are pretty polite, but then they get back to work. Lindsay was very different. He stopped and talked for 30 minutes, asking me all sorts of questions. And the first time we met, he gave me the nickname Husey, straight off the bat. That's what he called me from that moment on. We bonded over Queensland. We bonded over our love for rugby league. He's a Roosters supporter. And he was absolutely the life of the party. Now, these were the years where I was a pretty big party animal as well, and Lindsay was always the last person there. That was probably the through line of today at the funeral, the amount of people that showed up for Lindsay. They only moved back to that part of the world in 2017. He became friends with anyone. He would have so much time, and he would just stop what he was doing and give you undivided, focused attention, no matter how busy he was or all the things that were going on, particularly in his role. So I think for today, there's no real message or call to action or arms or anything like that. It's more just a reflection. I should have made that effort beforehand. And I think we always deflect to, I'll catch up with that person one day. And it was very unexpected with Lindsay. While he was a kind of like a keg on legs, he was actually really fit. Would go on his daily walks, very strong, very stocky. But I guess it's just probably a reminder to make that time. And I guess on the other side of this as well, one of the best things about Lindsay was the fact that he had time for everyone. And I don't know how I push this narrative. I'm absolutely sure I am, and I apologise for that. But a lot of people reach out and say, I know that you're busy, but... And I'm not. I will make time for people. And I'm just curious, what vibes I'm giving out that suggests that I'm too busy to talk to people. That's probably a side of me that I actually need to improve at, to be honest, is to be more present, to make space, to prioritise relationships and people as well. And I think out of all the people I know, Lindsay role modelled that the best. So absolutely worth the drive, just to give Ave a hug, just to be there. Because I'm still in shock that he's gone, and the fact that I've even been at his funeral, it's hard to believe that he is, because he, again, so cliche, but just a larger than life Aussie larrikin, true blue guy, a total legend. And I will cheers you tonight, Lindsay. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.